It is good to see all of you this morning for our combined Sunday school class, where we get to hear a missionary update from Taylor and Katherine Dix, who are serving in Bulgaria with MTW. And just so you are aware, River Oaks is planning to do a short-term trip to Bulgaria next year in 2027. So if you are interested in more information on that trip, stay tuned. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Taylor and Katherine Dix.
Good morning. We're happy to be here. I'm Taylor. This is my wife, Katherine, and like he said, we are serving in Sofia, Bulgaria. We are serving with MTW, Mission to the World. That is the sending agency of the Presbyterian Church in America, the denomination of the church here. So we have been there different times. We actually met in Bulgaria. Katherine has been living there and serving there since 2012. I have been there since 2017. We met there, got married, came back, went to seminary, moved back to Bulgaria in 2023. We have a little son, Robbie. He will be here. Yeah, that's him up there with us and on the bottom right. He'll be here later this morning, and so if you'd like to get to see him, you probably will, and you'll probably hear him before you see him. So we are a church planting team. Our goal is to see Reformed churches planted and to grow those churches throughout Bulgaria, particularly in the capital city of Sofia, which is where our whole team is serving right now. We have a very large team, which I'll get to actually in a little bit. It's a different slide. I was thinking it was there. You can see, I'm just going to go through a couple of the pictures up here that you can see, and you'll see a little bit about our life. That top left picture is our home church in Bulgaria. It's the first evangelical church in Bulgaria, and it is a church. It is a all Bulgarian church that we have partnered with to plant other churches. We are still at the main hub, and we're planting churches out from them. So it was built in like the early 1800s, so it's a very old church, and the evangelical population in Bulgaria is very, very small. It's about 0.1%. So it's probably the largest evangelical church in Sofia, and probably in Bulgaria as well. It's about 200 members, 200 people come on a Sunday, and so that's pretty large for us. The bottom left picture is what I look like when I'm not dressed up for Sundays. It's what I'm typically wearing. The picture next to that, we just recently adopted a dog, Nala. She is a rescue, and she is wonderful, and she's back there with a sitter right now, tearing up our couch and chewing on our doors and things. So she's having a great time. The picture next to that is, so my wife works for has helped found and is still serving with an anti-human trafficking ministry called Spring of Hope in Bulgaria. And they do outreaches on where they go out to the streets and to the clubs to minister to the women. This is them right before they go out to the clubs. They've got a bunch of balloons. It's Valentine's Day, so or International Women's Day, one of the two. Don't remember which. But they're going to go out and hand off those balloons and do some ministry to the women there. Picture next to that's our son Robbie. Above that, on the top right, this is a picture of our interns. So we run a summer internship for college age and young adults who are interested in learning about missions. It's called The Well, and it's how we recruit most of our members. I'm a former Well intern.
People have come through this church.
Yeah. People have come. Who's come through?
Patience Whitten.
Oh, yes, that's right. The Whittens, Patience Whitten has come through this church. So we've had Well interns from here. We've had Well interns from a lot of different places. We love our interns, and half of our team is made up of former interns right now. So they can also extend and stay for like a year. So if you know anyone who's interested in learning about missions, you can point them in our direction, and we'd be happy to take them for a summer or longer. The top middle is we ran a prevention camp. We have recently started doing ministry with the Roma people. They are a marginalized people group who live in Bulgaria and throughout Europe. And so that is a picture of one of our prevention summer camps that we ran this summer. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But before we go any further, you may be wondering, where is Bulgaria? A lot of people have not known where Bulgaria is, and we sometimes get, hey, how are things in Bolivia? And so, best to, start from the beginning. So Bulgaria is, if you can see, I'm usually not in such a big room and I can just point to it, but the bottom right on the continent of Europe, right there, you can see Bulgaria. It sits right on top of Greece and is west of Turkey, south of Romania. It's 2 countries south from Ukraine, so we've had quite a few Ukrainian refugees, especially women coming and working in Bulgaria. Bulgaria has given them free access to work in the country, so we have a lot of Ukrainians who are there and working. And Romania, actually, the country between us, they don't speak a Slavic language like Ukrainians do. They speak a Latin language, so a lot of Bulgarians have gone and continued. A lot of Ukrainians have continued and gone into Bulgaria. So Bulgaria is a really interesting place. It's right there on the close to the Mediterranean, so you get a lot of Greek culture, cuisine, things like that. But they were also under control of the Ottoman Empire for about 500 years. So there's a lot of Turkish influence. Bulgarians don't like the Turks very much. Russia actually rescued them from the Ottoman Empire. So they actually look up to Russia a lot, especially the older generation. And more with the younger generation, we're getting a lot of Western influence coming in as well. And so it's just this mishmash of culture of Turkish, Greek, Russian, Western culture all into one place, and there's not really another place like it. It's really an interesting place. Okay. This right here is our capital city from the airplane. You can see there's a little building in the top right, the middle right, right there. That is the National Palace of Culture, and it is where we have concerts. There's conferences that come there. It's one of the more popular venues for those kinds of things in the city. The mountain in the background is called Vitosha, and there is a little. If you look down on the lower right-hand side, you'll see kind of a little gap between the buildings, and it's just a straight line. That is called Vitoshka. It means little Vitosha. The ka on the end in Slavic languages is diminutive, so it makes it little. And so that's the main walking street in the country. So lots of tourists come there walking. They have shops on both sides of the street. No cars are allowed, and you can just walk down back and forth and do your shopping and everything. And the heart there on the right side, that's our house. So we are right there in the middle of everything. It makes Catherine's ministry very easy to access to the clubs and the things like that for her to go. So it's a pretty centralized location, and we've loved living there. It's a lot of fun, and so I'm going to. This is our team. Like I said, so we have a very large team. We have two American families serving us and another American family, and there are 2 Bulgarian families pictured in here as well, and we've partnered with them, and lots of kids between all of us. We've got 12 kids. And then we have 4 singles serving on our team, and currently 2 interns. So we're a large team. This picture was taken, and MTW has an area retreat every 4 years, and so we all flew down to Greece for a little relaxation, and we all took this picture together. And while we were there, I heard somebody say, Bulgaria has the best team in all of MTW, and I am inclined to agree with them. We have a great team. We're all striving to plant churches, plant Reformed churches throughout the country, but we all have our different spheres of ministry by which we're doing that. So we're actually doing a whole lot there. So there's English as a foreign language ministry, there is university student ministry, there is a sports ministry going on, we've got anti-trafficking ministry, I'm working with the Roma. So having such a big team enables us to do a whole lot. And so it's one of the best parts of it. And though we're all kind of in our own stream of ministry, we're all hands-on to help each other out when other people need. So when we ran our prevention camps in the Roma neighborhood this past summer, we had a bunch of team members, most of the team actually come in and help run the camps with us as well. And so we're all assisting one another. It's a great team dynamic, and we're very healthy, good team work together. So, here I'm going to turn it over to Katherine to talk about her ministry, Spring of Hope, for a bit.
Good morning. Since 2010, there has been a group of people who have gathered together in Bulgaria who are missionaries or people from the local church who have gathered together and prayed. In 2010, a woman from Berlin, a missionary, came to Bulgaria, and she sat down with as many pastors and leaders in the churches and said, "What are you not doing? My streets are filled with your girls." And so she really challenged the pastors and the leaders in the churches and the missionaries to start doing literacy programs, to start really taking care of children, especially in at-risk communities, to start doing outreaches. And then in 2012, I joined, and I became the coordinator for the outreaches. So we go to the streets, we go to the clubs, and we go online and minister to women and girls who are currently stuck in exploitation. We have different teams for all three, but I'm the coordinator to make sure everyone has everything they need to do to go, and then I lead all the groups. So on the bottom right, you can see it's a very dark red room. This is inside one of the clubs. You can't really see it really well, but we brought chocolates, and it was for my birthday, which is in August, which means it's hot. And so we brought chocolates indoors because the custom in Bulgaria is that when it's your birthday, you bring chocolates to all of your friends, and you say, "It's my birthday," and they say, "Congratulations, I wish you all these things," and then they get a chocolate. And so I was handing out chocolates, and I realized they were completely melted. And I was like, "Oh, no." And they're like, "It's okay, we have pretzels." So they ran to the back and got pretzels, and then about 15 of us were sitting around eating pretzels with chocolate. So it's a fun ministry. I really enjoy this ministry. We started, like I said, we started street outreach early in 2010, but the strip club ministry we started 2 years ago. And when I first walked in to the places, I've been trained by American and Western European people who've been doing this a long time. So I went with my knowledge, and I walked in, and they let us in, and they let us give gifts to the ladies. And it was very quick. It was about 4 or 5 minutes. We got to meet the managers and tell them who we were, and then hand the presents, and then leave. And as we approached the second place, so there were 2 places that we were trying to go to. As we approached the second place, we walk up, and it's closed. And we thought it was so odd because it's Sunday, which is a weekend, but they were closed. And they didn't put it on Google, they didn't put it on their website or anything. So I was very discouraged because I'm literally holding about 20 flowers, like the actual flower, like vases. And when we realized that they were closed, I turned to my partner, I said, "What do we do? We have all these flowers." She was like, "Katherine, there's probably like 10 other strip clubs in downtown Sofia." And I said, "Well, but we've been praying over these 2 for about 2 years now, and I feel really uncomfortable just walking up to another one." She said, "Well, what if we just dropped them off?" And I said, "Okay." So even though we hadn't spent time doing research, we hadn't spent time really praying over this specific spot, we walked to the next one. And as I approached it, I actually had a memory come back from about 10 years ago where I watched a woman being drug in. And I was very fearful. I was really anxious, and I'm not a very anxious person. And I just kind of paused. And my partner was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I believe in the Holy Spirit." And we just kept walking in. And as I walked in, the manager was there, and she said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, we have presents for your dancers." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it's Valentine's Day." And I did I'm an American, and it's Valentine's Day. It's a big holiday in America, and I really wanted to celebrate with women, and I know that women in this industry get overlooked. And she said, "No one ever sees us." And she grabbed me by my hand and took me down to the actual place where they were dancing, individually introduced me to each woman, took me behind the bar, introduced me to all of the bartenders. They were all women. And then we just lined the flowers up, and she had tears in her eyes and said, "These women see us, and they have presents for us." And I couldn't believe it. I just thought, this is miraculous, and it was. And as we exited, my partner and I were like, "Oh my goodness, this is a place we've never prayed over. I didn't even know it existed, and look what God did." The next morning, one of our team members, she's a prayer partner of ours, she called and she said, "Hey, I was praying for you last night. I just would love to know how it went." And I told her the whole thing. I told her how we tried to go to the second club. It was closed, so we went to the third one, and I had the memory pop up. And she said, "Are you talking about the Kama Sutra that's on Dondukov?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "That's on my prayer walk. And I put my hand on that door every single week, and I pray for the ladies in there." And she and I just both start crying because she's very pregnant. She's got 3 kids, so she has a heart for the ministry but doesn't feel like she can go. So this is the ministry that I get to do. The Lord is, the Spirit is very active, very supernatural. The work that I do is, it's an honor, really, to serve alongside and to serve with the Lord. So that's the bottom right picture. And then the I love you balloons were for Valentine's Day. We also do online outreach. So the top left is a picture of the phones. So we have a group of ladies who look at the internet, and we collect data for women who are on the sites. And then we have a group that talks to the women via text. And we offer services, we offer words of encouragement, we offer gift cards with the hopes of meeting them out of their brothels and out of the clubs. We have also started doing a lot of teaching. So I have been since seminaries, especially when I got my master's in, counseling, my brain. I have done a lot of trauma-informed training. So colleges and churches and organizations will call me to do consultation or to call me to do training. And then I am now training an elementary school teacher who's the top right, where she's going to do high school and under, and I'm going to take college students and up. And we're going to be able to do trauma-informed training and then protocol writing and consultation for example, there's an organization that works with children, and they think that they saw a child being trafficked. They think they saw the whole process in front of them. So they contacted us to do a consultation, and now I meet with them 6 times a year to do training. Or a church says, "We really want to welcome women from the street inside of our church, but we need more training. Can you help do trauma-informed training for our elders and for our leadership, and then help create care groups so that women it's never just one person with one person, it's a group for these ladies." So that's been an honor and a privilege to be a part of, and it's growing and it's wonderful, and I love, love, love to teach. So if a group does get to come from here to Bulgaria, you'll do some trauma-informed training with me. If you can imagine a river of exploitation, we've been at the bottom, helping women, children, men exit exploitation, or helping them as they're trying to figure out what they want to do after exploitation. And we were really challenged that if we're just at the bottom and we're helping people leave, then that means that someone's putting more in at the top. And who is doing what at the top to help prevent children from falling in? And that really challenged us. So for about a year, we started doing research of in Bulgaria who was doing what. We started funding some of their projects, and then we started partnering this past year. So what Taylor was talking about, that top picture and that bottom left picture, we partnered with churches who have literacy programs and food pantries, clothes drives. We partner with churches who really care for those in their neighborhood. And we put on prevention camps where it's a VBS-like structure in the morning, and then we separate the age groups. I take the kids under 10, and then Taylor takes the kids above 10, and they have that big, the picture with all of those volunteers. They all went to the bigger kids because there were so many of them. And they do things like, we led a trafficking awareness session, we had anger management, we had safe people, and then on Thursday and Friday we did career day. So we had professionals come in and do science projects and then talk about how you can become a scientist. We had a medical doctor come in and talk about like how to use all his tools and show them how to do it. And then he talked about how you become a doctor in Bulgaria. And it's just very true with these kids. Most of them don't know doctors. No one in their family is a doctor. So if you don't know a doctor, you don't know how to become a doctor. If you don't see the path in front of you, then you don't know how to become it. So we really, really want to help these children and provide opportunities so that they can do what they want to do and not just easily fall into criminal activity or exploitation. I'll give it back to you.
For the past 2 years, I have been working in I've partnered with the pastor of a church in a Roma community called Hristo Botev, is the name of the community. The church, so if you don't know who the Roma are, you might have heard the term gypsy. They are a people group who are largely looked down upon in all of Europe. They're often marginalized. And especially in Western Europe, they're often travelers. They have caravans and stuff, and they travel from place to place. Bulgaria is a former communist country, so in Bulgaria, they were when communism took over, they stuck them in the outskirts of the city, built a wall around them, and said, "You live here." And so there's very heavy racism against them. The Roma speak their own language. It's not Bulgarian, so Bulgarian is their second language, and Roma is an unwritten language. And so many of them are living in very poor conditions. Many of them are in schools and don't actually speak the language that the schools are being taught in, and so they're dropping out at like second grade. I've been working for a kids program with this pastor for the last 2 years. We have kids in our program who second, third grade don't know how to read, and so they're a very marginalized people group and a people group who have high risk of being trafficked. So this is why we've been one reason why we've been partnering in this neighborhood, Hristo Botev, and so every week every Saturday for the past 2 years, I have been going to this building, you see this top picture here. The guy in the top left, his name is Dancho. He's the pastor of this church here. This church has been around for about 20 years, and about 10 years ago, the pastor at the time had a moral failure, and the church just fell apart. This guy Dancho has since taken the reins and has been trying to restart this church, and it's been going very, very slowly. But the kids program that we've been doing on Saturdays has been very, very successful. We've had about 30 different kids from the neighborhood are participants in our programs, and we do Bible studies. I'm actually going to show you this is some of the kids in our program. We do Bible study with them every Saturday. We play outdoor games if it's warm enough, indoor games if it's cold. We sing worship songs together, and we practice scripture memorization with them. And this lady on the guitar, she's a partner with us. She teaches a lot of the lessons. Her name is Viara, means faith, and she's a Bulgarian. And so it's really cool seeing the Bulgarians who there's often a cultural divide and a lot of racial tension between the two. A Bulgarian coming and helping and working with these Roma kids. But it's been very, very fun to be a part of this for the last 2 years, and we're hoping to see it continue to grow. We've steadily gotten to know some of the kids more and more, and we've done, like I said, we did prevention camps this past summer in this neighborhood, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So when we did the prevention camps, we were expecting about 20 kids, 25 kids to come to the camp. We budgeted for 25 kids, and we started. So the Roma, they don't plan anything. And so we've been posting like flyers about, oh, hey, the camps are going to be on from this day to this day. And then we got there on Monday, and there was like nobody there. We're like, all right, what do we do? And the way we often do it on Saturdays is we just take a march through the neighborhood and go collect the kids and bring them back. And so that's what we did. We started walking. We took 2 teams, and we went in different directions, and we started getting kids. And we brought like 10, 15 kids back. By the end of the first day, we had 35 kids there. By the end of the week, because when other kids start coming by and seeing all these kids having fun, more kids start coming. So by the end of the week, we had 50 kids there. And so the week was very, very successful. And since then, we've had more and more kids coming to our Saturday camps. Flash to November of this past year, my wife and I are at our Saturday program. I'm like playing some kind of game with the kids in the yard, and Catherine goes to the pastor, Doncho, and she's just talking to him and says, what's your vision for this place? How do you see yourself moving forward? What do you want to see this place become? And he says, well, I see myself pastoring this church, partnering with Taylor, and restarting this church and doing this kids program every week, multiple days a week. And in order to do that, you guys are going to have to move into this building here and live in our community and serve the kids throughout the week. And so Catherine...
It was a shocking conversation.
Yes, it was quite a shocking conversation for Catherine especially. We had previously thought about moving in, and Catherine was like, my one condition before we move in is that we need to be invited in. And so then he's sitting there inviting her in to move in. And so it was like, well, what do we do? So we started praying, talking to our teammates, and when we get back to Bulgaria, we are going to be moving into this house and starting programs for these kids throughout the week. Our first goal is to raise enough money. You see this little yard outside is where we're going to build a soccer field for the kids after school to come and be able to have something to do after school. Spring of Hope is going to rent out the top floor of the building. So the way it's structured is the bottom floor is an apartment building, and the top floor is where the church meets. And so during the week, there's nothing going on the top floor. So Spring of Hope is going to rent out that top floor. We're going to run kids programs, do tutoring, do art classes, do all kinds of things for the kids to keep them, in structured learning environments that are safe. And our whole goal of this is to see this neighborhood flourish and to have the church be centralized in that. We want we want this church to sort of be a light in this neighborhood. And as I said, this church right now is pretty much dead. As I've been going for the past 2 years, it's been pretty much me and Doncho, the pastor, and there's a 80-year-old grandmother who lives across the street, and she'll come, and that's the church. It's the 3 of us. And but I was very encouraged at the end of our time in Bulgaria before we came back here. We came back here December 27th to raise support, and at the end of December came to this church, and we showed up, and there were 5 kids from our program who showed up to go to church with us. And so that was a really encouraging sign that had not happened in the past 2 years since I had been working there. And so I'm really excited at what God is going to do with this move, how God is going to reach the neighborhood through what we're going to do, and how God's going to use these kids. You know, we want to reach the parents through our ministry to the kids, but we also want to see these kids grow up and become a part of this church. The pastor now, Doncho, he grew up in this church. He grew up doing these kids programs, and we want to see more Donchos come up through this church, to be a part of the church, do ministry in their own communities, in their own neighborhood. And so that is our hope, and we're really excited at what God is going to do moving forward. You want to talk about this? Because this, okay. Yeah. So, okay.
So the ways in which you guys can be involved, like Kyle said, that your church is going to be sending a team next year. We don't have every detail ironed out, but the hope is that you guys will come and do the kids ministry. You can come and see what the different outreaches that Spring of Hope does. You can be involved. You can care for my staff and my volunteers. We're very open to any and all of your ideas. I'm an ideas person, so I'll probably say yes. But also just to allow this church, who is a partner with us, to see where we live, to see the church, to meet our people, and to be able to bring it back to Memphis. And you will fall in love with it. I've never met someone who comes to Bulgaria and hates it. Most of the time you stay. Or most of the time when you come, you want to come back, and a lot of times they stay, which is Taylor's story. So ways in which you can get involved: in the very back on the last pew, we have our quarterly newsletter sign-up sheet that you could sign up for. Taylor and I send it out every 3 months, just ways you can pray, updates on the church, any prayer requests that we might have individually or as a team. You can also take our prayer card. We have the Spring of Hope postcard back there as well, and it has resources on a QR code in the back if you'd like to learn more about anti-trafficking work and specifically the work that we do. We are still trying to raise $800 a month personally as a family. So if you would like to join our support team, we would love to have you. And we will meet. We can stay in the back as well near our sign-up sheet if you have any questions or you'd like to know more. But most importantly, we would love for you guys to join our prayer team. Like I said with my story, prayer is like the engine, the oil, the gasoline for everything that we do. We cannot do what we do without prayer. And so if you would like to join our prayer team, or if you even just think about us or remember us, Sundays when you guys are eating lunch, we are doing outreach because we do it Sunday nights. So as you're eating, just pray, send up a prayer of safety, that the Lord would bring connection between the women and us, that the Lord would bring more volunteers and more resources. Also, if you love to travel, we also just love to take people to dinner. So if you're in Bulgaria, or if you're in Greece and want to just take a $75 flight to Sofia and it's 30 minutes.
Just come visit us if you're in
Yeah.
Europe, anywhere close to there. Just come over.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it, I promise.
Bulgaria is a beautiful country. There's 3 mountain ranges for skiing. There's the seaside. It's very close to Greece. Ancient culture. We'll take you to a restaurant where you literally sit on Roman ruins. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place. So if you're ever in the country, let us know, and we would love to take you to dinner and show you our city. Well, I think that's it, because I think people are coming in. Thank you so much for your time and for your support and your care, and we'll be in the back after this.